Hello, Longwood students for the leadership cohort at Manassas Park. My name is Debbie Bergeron. I am thrilled to be part of this cohort. This will be my third year teaching with Longwood. Really excited. I start off with the internship. So for you, for this fall semester, we won't be seeing each other regularly, but I will be monitoring your internship. Now, normally I come to this first class so I can meet you, but today I'm actually moving my daughter into her dorm at Virginia Tech. Go Hokies! So I just wanted to make sure that I had a chance to connect. I can tell you, as the couple of years have passed, in terms of the internship, let me give you a couple of things that I want you to know. First of all, I would say the feedback we've gotten from the students who have been a part of our cohort, and we've been teaching together, so it's the three of us, has been really, really positive. At the end, they typically say things like, we grew so much, and these are people, some of whom don't even want to be principals, they just wanted the leadership experience. So we get really good feedback. But I would say the single most important thing that is part of this process is this internship that you're going to do. So as you're looking for your opportunities, where are you going to spend your time? Don't get too hung up on just checking the box and fulfilling the requirements. What I really want you to do is to think about how you can spend your time as in the most meaningful way so that you get something from it. And let me give you a really good example. I can remember my first group two years ago, the very first cohort I had. We went through the internship requirements, and folks would ask me questions like, so I do lunch duty. Can I go ahead and count that as part of my internship hours? And, maybe technically you can. My rule of thumb is that if you are already doing the job as kind of an extra duty as a teacher, then I would not count that as leadership in terms of for the purpose of this internship. What you want to look for are opportunities that you wouldn't have if you weren't taking this class and going to someone and saying, hey, I've got to get this experience. And so the principal or the assistant principal turns over to you the responsibility of doing something that otherwise an admin would have done. So while lunch duty might not count, maybe being the lunch administrator on duty could count. Like if typically they have an admin in lunch, and you're going to be that rotating admin for the semester or for a week or whatever, then I would say, yeah, that would count. You want to make sure that the responsibility you have is elevated beyond a teacher volunteering to do an extra job or fulfilling a duty that's required or whatever. And I encourage you to make those decisions really thoughtfully, because I think at the end of this process, you're going to feel much better if the experiences you've had are meaningful. In addition to that, you're going to find that the assignments you do are going to link really closely with the experiences you have. So you'll kind of be feeding your assignments by doing things that are meaningful. So sitting on an improvement team as an administrator, not as a teacher, could be really, really helpful. If your school is working on an improvement plan around, say, reading, as a reading teacher, it might be something that you would naturally do to support, but it would be great for you to take the lead on that project. So just be discerning. It's not something that I get too in the weeds on, and the purpose here isn't, what's going to count and what's going to give you the grade. I'm just really trying to encourage you to get the most out of this class, and I think that's how that will happen. I do know that this semester, I think some of the recording mechanisms have changed, so I'll be looking at that, and they'll be new for me too, so be patient. We'll work together. In the meantime, I would say a couple of rules of thumb just as you get started would be, obviously make sure you've got somebody to supervise this process. Make sure you're getting a signature for everything you do, just so you can at the very least go back and count it. And then another big thing is the way that Longwood parses out your hours, they do need to fall in the semester. So what you can't do is do 100 hours this semester and then take a break next semester. You have to do them in the chunks that are semestered out. And they do that on purpose so that you have a full year's exposure, because fall is very different than spring, very different from summer. So we want you to really get out there and feel the difference between a new school year versus the middle of the year and the ending during testing, and then maybe even summer school, or planning for the fall. So keep that in mind. It certainly is advisable that as you consider your opportunities, it doesn't hurt to map it out for the whole year. If you've got a supervisor who's willing to let you do that, and you're thoughtful enough, and you say, hey, in the fall, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and it's going to give me this many hours. In the spring, this is my plan. I highly recommend that, only because the time comes and goes so fast. What you don't want to do is find yourself at the last 2 or 3 weeks of the class short hours and not able to get those hours, or even just cramming in hours just to check the box. Again, you're going to lose the real benefit of what you can do here. So those are just my couple of pre-semester suggestions. I'm also going to give you my email, my personal email. I do not check my Longwood email. Please don't email me there. It is much better. I check messages on our Canvas page, but the Longwood email I don't check. So it's Dr. Deb Bergeron1234 at Gmail, and I'm putting that up here on the screen now. Feel free to email me anytime. I'm online all the time, so I'm pretty good at getting back to you. And be happy to answer questions as we get started. And then I will come into one of these classes at some point this semester to touch base with you guys and see what questions you have, meet you face to face. And then, of course, I'll be teaching in the spring and in the summer. So very much looking forward to working with you. I would say, based on the students' responses at the end of the entire cohort, we've really gotten some positive feedback. And again, some folks are really working toward that opportunity to interview for an administrator job, and I think it will definitely prepare you for that. But for those of you who are just here because it was an opportunity to add a certificate to your resume, maybe you're not really looking to do admin right now, I think you too even are going to get quite a bit out of this in terms of leadership. And my experience, particularly, I'm a K-12 certified teacher. I've taught middle school and high school, and I've been an administrator in an elementary school and in a high school. But right now, I'm not in a public school at all. I work for the Office of Head Start in Washington, D.C. So that's babies. Those are pre-K and really babies. So I've done the entire spectrum of birth to graduation, and I would say the great thing about a leadership program is what it's going to do. We're going to focus on being a principal in a school, but I want you to know that ed leadership is way more than just being a building administrator. There are lots of other things you can do in the area of ed leadership that will utilize those same strengths and experiences. So very much looking forward to working with you. Encourage you to email me if you have any questions, and have a wonderful kickoff to this cohort year. Take care.